Kiev has been pleading with its allies for heavy armament for some time. Topping their list of demands, the F-16 fighter jets. And for the first time, Ukraine has received some indication that the request wasn't entirely far-fetched.
It is time to look down the road and to say, what is Ukraine going to need as part of a future force to be able to deter and defend against Russian aggression as we go forward? F-16's fourth-generation fighter aircraft are part of that mix. The obvious first step there is to do the training and then to work with allies and partners and the Ukrainians to determine how to do the actual provision of planes as we move forward.
The F-16s are among the most advanced fighter planes on the planet. Nicknamed the Viper by U.S. Air Force personnel, it's renowned for its maneuverability, speed, precision, and ability to carry serious assault payloads. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was full of praise for his U.S. counterpart for Washington's continued support.
I welcome the historic decision of the United States and President Joe Biden to support an international fighter jet coalition. This will greatly enhance our army in the sky. I count on discussing the practical implementation of this decision at the G7 summit in Hiroshima.
Meanwhile, Zelenskyy has been on a world tour to rally support and to ensure the continued commitment of his allies towards his embattled country. Last week alone, he visited the Vatican, Germany, France, Italy, and the UK, meeting with leaders and top officials on each stop. On Friday, he arrived in Saudi Arabia and spoke to leaders at the Arab League summit in Jeddah. He had stern words for some in attendance, accusing them of turning a blind eye to the war in his country. And early on Saturday, he touched down in the Japanese city of Hiroshima, where he has been invited to take part in the G7 summit.
Zelenskyy wouldn't be invited to all these places and all these if they did not think Ukraine was going to come out of the war in good shape. That it simply wouldn't be happening. No one would want to be around a leader they think is going to be defeated in a country that's going to collapse.
And on the battleground, the focus is very much centered on the eastern front lines. Bakhmut has been the center stage of fierce fighting between Ukrainian troops and the mercenary Wagner group for 9 months. And while Russia controls almost all of the city, recent reports suggest Ukraine is regaining some territory.
We have very great motivation to protect our land. I think that the enemy understands that we will fight to the end.
The war in Ukraine has spanned almost 15 months, with no real end in sight. Increased commitment and strengthened military capabilities are certainly good news for Ukraine's military. But the long-awaited spring counteroffensive announced by Zelenskyy still has not begun. And with summer just around the corner, only time will tell what Kiev's military strategy is. Malik Fuda, TRT World.